It was so dark, like there was no electricity or something, and then it was so dark that I saw the bullets go from a side to another. It is like still the story. It's always crazy to think about it, and yeah, I think that's why it grabbed people's attention, because it was always like from a refugee to an athlete, or to an Olympian. And I always tell people that that's true, but like I'm still the same refugee, and that I didn't go from refugee to an Olympian. I've been like a swimmer my whole life. I've worked for that my whole life. We thought me and my sister telling the story would help young girls, would help people who are struggling every day to appreciate what they have, because we didn't know what we had until we lost it. And we didn't want people to realize that after it's too late. So that's why we always tell the story. We always motivate people. We always are like, you know what? I also had a point where I wanted to give up. It's normal, and I wake up at like 6:30 and I hate it every day. Like I really hate waking up early in the morning. But then you think, you know what? I'm doing that because of the end result, and not because I like waking up at 6:30. It's because I love swimming. It's because I am holding a message. It's because it's my passion. I realize that right now my voice is so powerful that I can actually help people through it. I can tell them my story to learn from it, and I can even motivate people, I hope, with my story, with what I'm doing today, with still working on my dreams. And after coming to a very different country, like I still wanted to achieve my dream. So that's what I'm always trying to tell people, no matter where you are, what happens, just keep going for it, because it will show off, like the result will come. If you go and work at a supermarket, you get good money if you're a teenager. And I think they got to a point, the teenagers, that they don't know what to do anymore. They started doubting themselves, their dreams. They're like, am I good enough? Oh, look, she's pretty, I'm not that as pretty. There's also social media is good, because we always like get a really powerful message in some way, but we have to use it in the right way, because like if it affected a lot of people around me, and even me sometimes. I always like want people to understand that it is nice to be different. It is nice to look different.
And at what point, how old were you when you started to feel that things were changing in your country?
I was in the 7th grade, so I think I was 13. And so in the beginning, we were just like, the first time I heard anything about war was in the school bus. I also remember like being in our flat, as example, like it was so dark, like there was no electricity or something. And then it was so dark that I saw the bullets go from a side to another. And I don't know why, but I always wanted to stay on the window to see everything. But my mom was like, grabbing me back. She was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, I wanna see. I was more curious than afraid. So my memories always were from like trying to run away, like with a car out of the area where our flat was, staying by my grandma for like months. We left really early. We left after 2 years of war already. This was my first like really memory of the whole war and so on.
Do you remember fear as a kid?
I don't know if I ever realized that like that I will die or something, but I was like, I lost friends of mine. I saw like bullets flying in front of my face. A lot of things that happened, like probably now I don't remember 100% how I felt, but it was horrifying for a child, to live through everything, to see the area of their house is destroyed, to hear that people are dying every day, like people people you never ever expected to go. And
do you think that your parents tried to protect you from what was happening around you?
yeah, I think so, but like also they gave us responsibility. They knew that we could take it, and I think that's why they even trusted us in the whole, going out away from our home country and trying to go to another country.
Yeah, so actually you took on a lot of responsibility from
Yeah,
quite a
young age. Yeah, that's true.
And then what was the moment, do you remember that moment that you and your sister decided that it was time for you to leave Syria?
In 2000, 14 or 13, like people started to go in summer always with to another country, to Sweden, to Germany and so on. Like a huge amount of Syrian people like left, and then we were like, oh, why don't we try that? But my parents said always no, no, no. And at one point, like I don't know how, but my dad was like, you know what, like find someone I trust. So my sister worked at Zara, I think, in Syria, and
Nice.
yeah, for a while. And one of my father's cousins, actually, he saw her there, and they were talking, and then he told her, yeah, I'm going with my uncle, and then we found people who he can trust.
So she was like, I'm coming, we're coming
Yeah,
with you.
yeah, and then actually I didn't believe that he would do it, and then I was like, yeah, we trust, like you trust them, so let's do it. And then he was like, okay, and then I was like, okay, like it's never happening, like I know him. And then actually, yeah, they booked the flight tickets to Turkey, from then to Beirut, then Turkey, and yeah, it was crazy. And then after a week of him deciding that it's okay, we left after a week.
Wow. So
only.
you literally had a week from
To do
that
everything.
moment to packing up everything that you own, basically.
Yeah, I mean, you don't
your
need to
life.
pack anything. Yeah, I mean, we lost our childhood pictures. They got all burned. All my medals or my trophies from swimming, they all are gone. Our clothes, like, the last time I was in my home, I didn't even like. I couldn't take anything I wanted because I was in a competition in Russia. And the bag I had, it was like a small traveling bag, you know, the 20 kilos or even less. And it was like mostly fully swimming stuff. And that's the last thing I ever had from home because I couldn't go back. That was the last time I was out. And I was like in Russia. And then when I came back to Syria, like my parents were like, yeah, we could never go back.
So you were 17. Your sister was how old when you guys
She was 20.
20.
Yeah.
And you left behind your mum, your dad, and a little sister.
Yeah.
And how did that feel, that moment that you actually left them?
I think it wasn't as hard for us as for them, because for us it was like we were thinking about how will we go from a country to another, how we will figure out things, how will the money be enough, will we be safe, all of that. And my mom obviously thought of the same things, but about her daughters, like when we said goodbye in the airport, like she was there, my grandpa was there, and my dad wasn't there, he was in Jordan. But and my little sister, she's the one who she didn't realize till the moment at the airport that we're leaving. She thought she will never see us. Like
she's super young still, isn't she?
She was really young, and then she started crying, and then like she realized that they're really going. Like where are they going?
And when are we gonna see each other again? I
Yeah.
guess none of you knew the answer to
Yeah,
that.
exactly. And then my mom started crying, and then we were like, okay, we'll just go. And then everyone started crying, and yeah, so that was like, yeah, that was hard because you don't think about it that you might never see them again, but on the way you're like, okay, did I just leave my whole family and I have only one member, and I don't know like if I'll lose her on the way or not, or what's gonna happen on the way. We actually didn't know that we were strong enough until we were there and until we went through everything. And like my older sister always was like, you're like the little spoiled kid, because I was like the youngest for 9 years, and then we had my little sister, and I was like so small and everything, so no one actually realized, like thought that I would ever be that powerful. I was shy when I was young. Like right now, I think they would never like have imagined that I would have a really strong voice, that I would be talkative.
Speaking at the UN.
Yeah, exactly.
Barack
No
Obama.
one, yeah, because I was like just swimming, school, and I'm fine. Like that's it.
Wow. I mean, that must have been a beautiful journey for you as well, to actually feel how powerful you are and how strong you are. Take away all of those things, like, you know, the people around you, your family, your stuff, your life, and actually what you have left is that strength of character and human spirit. And that must be an amazing journey to go on on a personal level, right?
Yeah, it is.
So you guys flew to Beirut and then to Turkey, and then Turkey to Greece is the part of your journey that you're pretty, I mean, a lot of people who are listening to this will know you for, right? 'Cause what happened?
So when we were in Turkey, like they let you just when you go down to the island, it was like full of people. We didn't know that. They take you in a bus, and you can't use your phone. You cannot talk to anyone. You can't tell anyone where you are. Like my parents and my uncle, they knew where we are because we like downloaded the app like Baby Tracker. Whenever we could like use our phone, we just let them on. And after like 4 days of staying on the island, like the fifth day, we got on a boat, and this boat wasn't actually a good one. Like they broke it before we got in.
Smugglers.
Yes, because they had a fight. Because there are like two halves, like one from Iraq and one half of them from Afghanistan. But they worked together, and then they had a fight, and then so no one got on the boat from the
That's the last
Afghan.
thing you want in that moment.
Yeah, and then like
smugglers fighting with each other.
exactly, and then like the side from the Afghan people wanted to get more people from their side, and then the Iraqi one, they broke the boat with a knife. And then afterwards, they said, "Oh, there is a boat," and then they fixed it. I don't know how, but they fixed
The same
it.
boat.
And then it was ours. And then we got on it, and then obviously, no refugee ever got from the first try like to the other side. I know people who tried 10 times or 15 times to get on the boat and go, like really go. We could leave after two times, yeah, of trying, and. I remember the first time we tried to go, the police came like from the shore. Yeah, exactly. They came with a boat, and then we had to go back. Yeah, so after we got on the boat, it was windy. It was the whole time like the boat, it has to go straight, but it was always flipping and going back to the island in Turkey, and we didn't want that. After 15 minutes, the motor stopped. The water started to fill the boat, and then actually the friend of my father was with us, and he was the first one to jump into the water, and then he got out after 5 minutes, and he was like, you know what, we have to work together. 4 people have to go in the water, some people have to get water out of the boat, throw everything you have except of your phone or your money. And so afterwards, the first person obviously to stand up and say I'm going to the water was my sister. She went to the water, and then I stood up and I went from the other side, and we were fighting.
She
because
didn't want you to get in.
No, because like when I have a lot of pressure, or when someone like is mad at me, or I don't know, have pressure on my brain, I lose consciousness since I was young. So that's why she was afraid, because I also wear glasses and I have like -2, -1.5, and then she was afraid like that I would lose consciousness and just let go. Like I would just go down.
Yeah.
How would anyone? And I went down, and I was like, you know what, you're a swimmer, I'm a swimmer. No, I'm not going up. And then she's like, get on the boat. 2 other guys like went to the water. We were in front, me and my sister, and they were in the back. And they always like changed between other people, but me and my sister stayed. And like I felt really bad for her, because the last half an hour I went on the boat because the motor worked in the end. But like every time she wanted to go on the boat, they didn't let her. No one on the boat let her. And then like
Why?
because they knew that we were swimmers, and whatever happens, she can swim, she can continue. And like I was like,
and a lot of people on the boat couldn't swim, I guess, right?
yeah. And like they let her, so she wanted to go up, and they like let her just put her hands and like up, and so they held her from here.
So they gave her a break, basically, but not for long.
Yeah, but like it was like I was sad, because she's the first one who's like stood up, and yeah, you could never know what happens on a boat. But like yeah, the men were sitting on the boat, and she was the one like in the water. So yeah, I have really a lot of respect for this woman. And yeah, so after 3 hours and a half we arrived. The last half an hour I got on the boat because I couldn't anymore, the salt and everything. And then we contacted my parents that we are there. And
so you swam the boat all the way to shore?
No, not the whole time. We were trying to stabilize the boat. So this is also crazy. The media always make me the one who's putting a rope around my waist and swimming freestyle. That's not true. That's never true. Like my weight was 51, 52, and all the people together, I don't know, it was like 300 kilos or something like this. So please, all people, like, you have to understand that I did not do that.
It's not gonna work.
Yeah, I'm a normal human. And so we were on the sides of the boat, right? And when the boat wasn't working, the motor wasn't working, we always tried to stabilize the boat to get it down, always, because it was, as I said, it was turning around and going back, always because of the wind. A woman told that we were refugees on the train because we were trying to be European. We were trying to hide that we were refugees. And like as a European, you never ask for your passport. Like never. You just show the ticket. And then she saw us. She told the police. And then before we knew that the police is coming to pick us up, we offered her food. My cousin offered her food. And then she started crying. Because
she felt guilty.
Yes, because she was like, I didn't know that you are nice. And then like we went to the police, and then like they put us in a stable.
I hope that situation changed her outlook forever.
I hope so too. She was like, I didn't know you were nice. And I was like, we are normal. Like,
just people.
Yeah, I always say, I cannot assure you that 100% of refugees are nice and good. But this is the world. This is a human race. We didn't really care which country, but we said from the beginning Germany. Because first of all, like, you have good rights in this country. You can live a peaceful life. That's all we knew. I mean, and we knew that it's cold. But like, other than that, we didn't know anything. We just wanted to go to a place where there is actually water, electricity, and a life. That's all we thought about. And I'm not gonna lie, I also thought they are good in swimming. So
I mean, that's an important factor, right?
Yeah, it's crazy that I, even like in my darkest times in my life, I was also thinking about swimming. I'm like, now when I think about it, I'm like, am I crazy? I wasn't thinking about my life. So it is. I've been thinking about swimming my whole life. It's crazy, yeah. If this story helps me come forward and, let people get inspired and, give them the courage to do something, no matter how small it is, I would always try. And now I am proud, and I'm like, you know what? Think whatever you want. If you are negative, it is your problem. For me, I'm gonna choose every single chance in my life to make my life better, and to also use that to help people understand that it's life. It's not always good. Some terrible things will happen, but we have to stand up again. We have to go through everything, and because life does not stop, to be honest, for no one. And I'd rather people say, I don't know how she got successful, than say, oh, poor her. So that's my point of life. The people who like are sitting home watching news and saying, refugees, those I don't understand. I think old ways won't open any new doors. So and there's no point in the world where we are not mixed. We are not full of cultures. We are not like black, white, different, short, tall, nowhere. Where? Tell me any city right now that's only white people or black people. That's crazy. We're in 2020. And what I always say, please try to get to know us before you judge us, because we did not choose to have war and violence in our country. We really just want peace, and we want a new chance in life. And when you think about refugees, think about your kids. I would never ever wish that on anyone else, but like, if anything happens in any other country, and your kids went through something like that, would you want them to be rejected from the country they go to? Of course not. No one would want that. So that's what I always say. Just please think about people, put yourself in their position, and then judge them, or never judge them at all, please.